So I have to pass along some praise to you.
Thank
So
you.
a good friend of mine is working on a documentary on Siskel and Ebert, and you know, doesn't have to deal with Siskel or Ebert, and wanted to know how you made it through dealing with the ups and downs of this because this was not an easy ride, was it?
No, it got kind of gnarly. It was intense, but I tried to always keep my eye on the prize. I was determined to make this film. It just was a pretty rocky, tumultuous road.
And what did it mean to you to be entrusted that Paul, who was notoriously private and could be difficult with people, he chose you?
I never took that for granted, but I knew from the beginning that it would be a challenge. The first time that I spoke to Paul, he told me that he wanted to direct the documentary himself. But we kind of went along and, rode by the seat of our pants as we moved through a collaborative process to tell his story. But there was a power struggle for sure within that process.
I know you were a fan, and that's why you reached out to him and wanted to make this. When that moment came when you felt like this is going to happen, what was the feeling?
I mean, I was thrilled. I found Paul to be the funniest and smartest and most gregarious person I had ever met. He was also the most challenging. He was somebody who wanted total control and, for very real reasons, wasn't able to fully cede control or trust because he had lost control of his personal narrative in the media. So, in many senses, it was an honor to be trusted with that responsibility, and it was a monumental challenge.
Definitely. As you went through the archives that he let you look at, again, the excitement must have been incredible because you were seeing things that no one had ever seen before.
Yeah, I mean, it was an embarrassment of riches. I make films that have a lot of archive, and for me to find this cultural icon who had saved every recording of every obscure performance or television appearance he ever had was just such a gift. It was all in Paul's bedroom and had never been digitized. So we had over 1,000 hours of archival footage.
So does that mean, along with the hours of interviews, would there a possibility be to see some of this in the future?
And what you get is you got 3.5 hours of Pee-wee Herman. There's not much more.
It wasn't enough. I finished watching and then I went and watched it again because I wanted to
Wow.
savor it. I don't do that. I just thought the subject was so incredible. And also the fact that we could feel your presence throughout
Yeah.
this when he was talking to you.
Yeah, I'd never done that before, but I felt like Paul's conflicts with me was not really about me as much as it was with him wrestling internally about how much he did want to share personally of himself, and so I decided to incorporate that into the film.
People said that he was difficult, and there were lawsuits and people that he fell out with that he was close with at one time. Why do you think he stayed with you?
You know, Paul didn't stay with me. We had a falling out. The project almost didn't come to fruition. But at the end of Paul's life, he decided to take this leap of faith and to give me permission to finish it. He wanted his story to be known, and I'm so grateful that we found a path forward at the end of his life. Unbeknownst to me, he was terminally ill, so I didn't have context for what was happening, but I'm so fortunate that he gave me permission to proceed.
And when you found out that he passed, you were scheduled to talk to him the next day. I cannot imagine what went through your mind when you got that news.
I mean, it was just a truly profound shock. I had never experienced anything like it. Obviously, I kind of went into filmmaker mode and just went to work. I started to read the 1,500 page transcript of our interview from 40 hours of conversations. And within there, I saw all sorts of things that had a different kind of significance.
How did this change you?
Well, the level of responsibility was transformative, just to feel like I could rise to the occasion. But more so in terms of what I do, it made me understand what it feels like to be on the other side. We ask a lot of our subjects as documentary filmmakers, and Paul was an extreme example of somebody who was uncomfortable sharing his story, but who wanted to be known. And I understand that vulnerability in a different way. I have more empathy for it. And I learned a lot about resilience and artistry.
You showed him some of it, and the reaction was interesting when he watched it. I would imagine you're nervous throughout the whole process of him watching your work. Tell everyone what happened.
Well, I was showing Paul the first 45 minutes of the cut when our relationship had broken down. I wanted to instill in him confidence and also to show him what would be lost if the film didn't come to fruition. And he took breaks every 10 minutes during that screening, I think processing the experience of seeing his life play out on screen. And at the end, he said, I've been trying to figure out what to say to you. And what I want to say is, I look forward to helping you make it even better. And Paul was sparing in his compliments to me. He liked to keep me in my place, but that was very meaningful.
So, if he had seen the final product, what do you think he would have thought?
I can't speak for Paul. He's not here to speak for himself. I don't know. I'm sure there's things he would love about it and things he would hate about it, and some days he'd be happy with it and other days not. It's hard to know.
Well, I will tell you, as I think you can tell, I love Paul's work. I remember discovering him on the dating game that time when he appeared and thought, who is this? And I want to know more about him. But I interviewed him a couple times over the years and just it was so special to me. And I was so protective as a fan. And that's why I just give you the utmost credit. I just thought this was perfect. I thought you did a beautiful job.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thanks so much for doing this. It means the world to me.
Thank you, Gino. Have a good
All the
day.
best.